Hey guys, welcome to our first Tarkov guide video. In this video I want to explain to you what you should be bringing into a raid, kind of the bare minimum, the budget mentality you should try to maintain until you've learned a little bit about the game or you've accumulated a few rubles, and explain the importance of each item and how you may be making a few mistakes if you've only played a few raids, you've died, you got frustrated, you've got away from it, you feel like you're under geared or under prepared. This will hopefully give you a little bit of confidence. I'm a noob, you guys know that. This is kind of how I've managed to progress in the little bit of progression I've made, and I kind of want to share this with you. You can use it or take what you think is good out of it. I hope you get something out of this. But let's just start off with the loading screen, guys. That's what we're going to talk about today. What you should bring. Now, a lot of people new to Tarkov are scared of losing things permanently, especially if you've never played a game like that. Now, I've played a few games like that in the past, but Tarkov is the first shooter I played like this. And it's very nerve-wracking, I have to say. Even after being in comparative real-world situations, you still get nervous in a video game. But that's what makes so many people want to play Tarkov. There's very few games that'll give you an adrenaline dump like this. But let's get back to our loadout. If I'm doing just a value run, these are the things that I'm going to bring. Now, some of them are optional. Some of them you don't need at all. But this is just kind of like what my value setup is. Don't pay attention to the mids. I've got these mids down for lower tier players, and we're going to talk about them in a second. But we'll start at the head. And the most important piece of gear you can have in Tarkov next to a way to kill someone is earpieces. If you don't have a set of earphones, you will die because you don't have them. Hearing your enemy is the most important thing in Tarkov, next to shooting your enemy in the head. You need to find a pair that you can stand to wear. You need to wear them in every raid, and you need to learn the noises. Now, bear in mind, not every headset picks up every noise in the same frequency and from the same range. For instance, these headphones hear people in grass a lot better than Swordens do. I've seen this 3 or 4 different times where we've been in a 2 or 3 stack and no one can hear a person in grass except for me. And in the opposite, I've seen Swordens hear gunshots that I can't hear wearing these. So there's no beat all headphone really. They just all have different aspects, and you'll have to find the one you like and the one you can rely on the most, and you need to wear them constantly. These are cheap. These are second cost tier is kind of why I wear them, and they work pretty good in my opinion. Let's move on to the headwear. A lot of people will say you don't need to wear helmets. You should never wear a helmet. Helmets are useless. You'll hear this all over Reddit. You'll see it on YouTube in some places. My thinking behind it is an expensive helmet is useless. If you pay $100,000 for your helmet, $200,000 for your helmet, and it's not completely covering your face, and you can wear headphones, it's a waste of money. So in order to bridge this gap and to keep this fairly cheap and kind of ensure you're going to get this back, because this is you're going to make loot runs with this kit. This is a budget kit. I recommend the 6B47. It's very cheap, and once you get to the flea market, it's even cheaper. You can buy the camouflage version for 4,000 or 5,000 less than the regular, and the regular Ratnik is only 32,000 usually. So it's a very value helmet. But the reason I say you should wear this helmet, and especially you should wear it over the penis helmet, the very starting helmet that you have access to, is it has ear coverage, and that may not sound like a lot to you, and to a lot of people it's death sentence, especially if you can't wear earphones, but you can with this helmet. And the ear hitbox is so large, even with helmets that have face shields that cover jaws and eyes, if you're shot from the front, a lot of times people will die because they're hit in the ear hitbox, even though the face shield covers the entire forward-looking portion of your character. The hitbox doesn't register that. It only registers where the bullet is hitting. And since it's hitting the ear hitbox, you die from a face shot from a full face-to-face engagement. So ear protection is arguably the most important protection you can have for your entire head. The next, we're going to cover face coverings. Now, this may seem like a waste of money or a cosmetic. It is not. You have a pale, pasty, white face. no matter what your character is. And without a helmet, it's even worse. But even with a helmet, it's pretty bad. And in the game, it's even worse than it is on the screen. You have to have one of these. Now, I wear the CF most of the time because it's pretty much as cheap as any of the others, and it doesn't have the lines that the baklava has. The baklava is easier to pick out because of it has a distinct up and down line pattern, and people's eyes are trained to pick that sort of thing out. Now, to rigs and armor. Now, you can wear armor and a rig. Now, you're going to be a little more expensive doing this, and you're going to weigh a little more. But if you're looking to get stuff back when you die, your maximum chance of getting one of these two things back is higher than if you wear an armored rig like I do, because someone can take that armored rig and just fill it full of your stuff or someone else's stuff and throw it in his backpack, and it essentially takes up no space. This one would actually be free because you have 2 extra slots than the backpack, and then he still has 3 slots or 4 slots down there. So it's easier to steal this than it is to steal both of these. So it's basically up to you. Do you want to sacrifice mobility and carry weight for a higher chance of getting your stuff back, or are you just gonna vie for mobility and hope that if you die, you've killed the guy that killed you and nobody finds your body? Now, I vie for this choice even if it gets stolen, because I like it's lighter, and in the end it costs a little less, and it takes up less space in my inventory. But it's really up to you and your budget. You're at least 50% more likely to get one of these two back if you die to someone that's loot thirsty as over me. If I die with this, he's taking all my mags. He's taking anything he can stuff into this, and he's stuffing it in his backpack, and it's gone. But that's something I'm willing to accept. Now, let's get down to the second layer. Armband, I don't recommend wearing one of these unless you're actively in a team, because even though it doesn't really save you from team kills, it is bright enough to pick out any bush or any dark situation. It's going to be easy to see, and it just presents the targets you just don't need. Now, body armor, we've already talked about this with the rig, the pros and cons. Now, level-wise, I wear level 4. I don't go above level 4 because any bullet that can pierce a level 4 that people are using is going to pierce a level 5, level 6, and level 7 because they're using top tier ammo. So level 4 stops pretty much any scav bullet that comes my way, and it's going to stop any kind of low caliber round at least a few times. Even higher end low caliber rounds are going to be stopped by this a few times before it penetrates. So if one of the rapid fire chads sees me before I see him, maybe if I'm on painkillers and he strafes me, I get to cover before he kills me. It's arguable there, but the protection you're buying is basically against scavs with armor, and as far as I see it, especially in late game. So level 4 or under. Level 3 is acceptable, but level 4 is really the best value for your dollar. This rig is 60 to 80k depending on how you find it on the flea market. At full health, it's 60 to 80k. Whereas a pack is 30 some odd K to buy, and the protection is nothing near the same. So generally in value, if you have the money, it's just better to buy a level 4 kit because it's going to save you more times than a level 3, and it's going to cost relatively the same amount of money. Now for eyewear, if you're not wearing a face shield, you're not wearing jaw protection, the best you're going to come up with is the Condors. They're level 1 armor, which is basically nothing. Their ricochet chance is medium, and this is kind of what you're hoping to get. You're hoping to bounce around off of these glasses if you get head eyes by something. On the flea market, they are usually 15 to 20,000, so you can take. That's definitely not budget in my opinion. But like I said, you can gauge for yourself what's budget, depending on how much money you have. And they also provide 10% protection against flashbang, which 10% is not a lot if you take a direct flashbang or somebody flashbangs you with a shotgun, but it's better than nothing. And these glasses don't have any drawback at range as far as I'm concerned. As far as I know, I don't think people can see these. They don't have a reflection like some of them do. So you're good on that front as well. Alternatively, you can use the AFG glasses. They're the anti-fragmentation glasses. Now they come in two different colors, but they operate pretty much the same. These are, you can really see these, so I recommend maybe wearing the other set that do not have the yellow tinted lenses, the amber tinted lenses. But they protect against, it says fragmentation, so possibly grenades or fragmented rounds that have hit the wall. Keep from getting head ice by that. But it provides you with 10 or 15% flashbang protection, depending on which ones you pick. Now you have to have a gun, of course. I recommend a gun you feel comfortable with, especially for like loot runs, scav runs. It doesn't need to be a great gun. All guns can shoot decent ammo. You just have to have access to that ammo. I love the PP-19. It's a 9mm. Generally, you're going to be shooting for the head anyway, unless you have something that one taps chests or two taps chests, or you have a 100-round magazine and you just intend on burning through somebody's armor before they can return fire. But most people in Tarkov are trying for headshots in the first place. So PP-19 is pretty effective. It's super cheap. Sidearm is definitely optional. But if you run out of ammo, it's easier to switch to sidearm, especially if you have a good hotkey like on your mouse, than it is to reload that gun. So you dump the mag and automatically switch to the pistol, and it's on. You back to 18 rounds of pew-pew, and hopefully that's enough to put somebody down. And if you dumped a 30-round mag, it probably will be. But like I say, sidearm is definitely optional. I don't take one a lot of times, but that's the argument for having one. Now, as long as you've made your weight requirements, there's no need to bring a backpack, because you can probably kill a scav and take it off of him. The same way, if you don't have an automatic weapon or a weapon that is magazine intensive, you don't need a rig, but you do need to meet a certain weight requirement. We are far over that now, but I would mark my weight requirement around 7 to 10 to keep scavs from auto-aggroing me. And that's kind of like what you should expect as far as a budget loadout, what you need. Now, you don't need these exact names. Like, you can get a super cheap backpack, you can get a super cheap rig. That's about as super cheap as you're going to get as far as guns go. You don't have to have the condors. You can get the trashless armor off of some scav run you got. You don't have to buy this armor, and I don't really recommend this armor. Like I said, this is a heavy armor. I always wear these. I just got this to show you a comparison and to give you something to think about as far as value goes and returns if you die. Now, as far as medicine, these are things you need to bring. If you haven't watched Stormcrush's video, I recommend just go ahead and watch his video. But this is the low-tier version of everything. This is a bandage. It'll stop light bleeds. This is a cheese. It will give you up to 100 health points back. If you're only bringing these to heal with, you need to bring more than one. If you get seriously injured, you'll burn 4 or 5 of these up. So you're better off bringing an IFAK or a Salewa. Salewas are found in raid at the beginning of the game, and IFAKs are too. I don't think you can buy either one at the very beginning, but you will find plenty, especially if you're looking. And this is your S March, or we had a cat right here. These two will stop heavy bleeding. You're going to need at least one of these, because if you catch a heavy bleed and don't have a way to stop it, you're going to die. That's just that simple. A splint is optional-ish, because if you break your leg, you break your arm, you're going to want to repair it. If you break your arm, your aim and ADS is going to be affected. If you break your leg, obviously you're going to be walking slower. Painkillers are going to help you get over a lot of side effects, broken legs included. You'll be able to run. You need to have painkillers, at the very least, in case you're stuck in combat. And guys, I hope that was informational. I hope it didn't ramble on too long. I'm going to be doing a series of these videos, so stay tuned. There'll be more to come. Alright guys, catch you in the next one. Hope you learned something. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Peace.